They thought cornering her would be easy. Just another woman alone on a fog-covered training field, outnumbered, unarmed, and exhausted. They had no idea who she really was. When the first soldier stepped forward, laughing at how harmless she looked, she whispered only 4 words, soft, calm, deadly. "Remember. I'm a SEAL." In that instant, everything changed. What followed was not just a fight. It was a reckoning. And behind every strike, every move, every breath she took, lived a story of grief, redemption, and a promise she made long before the world tried to break her. This is that story. Rain hammered down on the abandoned military training compound, turning the ground into a battlefield of mud and shadows. A lone figure walked through the dim lights, lean, silent, her hood pulled low as droplets slid off the edge. Her name was Elena Ward, and she didn't belong here. At least, not anymore. Months earlier, she had vanished from active duty without a trace. The news whispered about a rogue operative, but none of them knew the truth, that Elena left because she couldn't bear the weight of her last mission. A mission that ended with the loss of her entire SEAL team, the men and women she called family. The guilt was a chain she dragged behind her everywhere she went. Tonight was the first time she stepped onto a military base since that day. Not as a returning hero. Not as a soldier seeking redemption. But as a ghost answering a message she never thought she'd see again. "We need you. Come alone." She didn't recognize the number. She came anyway. But the moment she entered the compound, she sensed it. The trap. Shadows slid along the walls. Whispered commands crackled through radios. She wasn't being welcomed, she was being hunted. 3 soldiers emerged first. Their rifles weren't raised, but their smirks were sharp enough to cut. "Ward?" "The runaway," one scoffed. "Didn't think you'd actually show." Another chimed in, "Orders say to bring you in. Doesn't say you need to be comfortable." Their jokes bounced off her, meaningless echoes. She didn't respond, she just studied them, their foot placement, their breathing, the weight distribution in their shoulders. Old instincts kicked in. Elena wasn't trembling. She was calculating. When 5 more soldiers blocked the far end of the yard, forming a half circle around her, the air tightened. They thought they had her cornered. They thought she was scared. They thought they were the hunters. Her fingers curled, steady and relaxed. "Last chance," one soldier said. "Surrender." Elena lifted her head, rain streaming down her face, and finally spoke, calm, tired, and impossibly dangerous. "Boys, remember this for later." She stepped forward. "I'm a SEAL combat master." A heartbeat later, the yard erupted into chaos. She moved like a phantom, every shift of weight, every pivot, every strike executed with surgical precision. She didn't want to hurt them, but she couldn't let herself be taken. Within seconds, the first 3 soldiers were in the mud, stunned and wide-eyed, realizing too late who they had provoked. But as she stood over them, chest rising, the floodlight above flickered. Someone was watching. Someone who knew her far too well. Her voice was low, barely audible over the rain. "Who set this up?" The only answer was the crack of a distant door opening. And a familiar silhouette stepping into the light. That was the moment Elena understood. This wasn't a trap. This was the beginning of something much bigger. Something she couldn't run from anymore. The courtyard fell silent as the figure approached, boots splashing softly through the puddles. The soldiers, still conscious, scrambled away from him, suddenly alert, suddenly respectful. Elena stayed rooted where she was, her pulse hammering in her throat. She knew that walk. She knew that presence. Commander Aiden Cross. Her mentor. Her closest friend. The man who once believed in her more fiercely than she believed in herself. The man she thought she'd never see again. They locked eyes through the rain, and for a moment, just a breath, he looked like the Aiden she once trusted, the one who told her she was born for greatness when she doubted her own shadow. But that softness vanished in an instant. "You've been hard to find," he said, voice cold enough to freeze the air. "You disappeared without authorization. You abandoned your unit. Elena flinched, his words didn't stab, they shattered. My team died because of me, she whispered. Because I didn't listen. Because. Aiden cut her off sharply. Your team died serving their mission. And you survived because they trusted your decisions. Her breath hitched. She wasn't expecting compassion. But then he stepped closer, and she saw something else in his eyes. Not anger. Not relief. But guilt. Aiden, she murmured, realization slamming into her, this trap, this test, this was your idea, wasn't it? He didn't hide it. I needed to know if the fire was still in you, he said. Because I have one mission left, one that only you can do. And I can't send a broken soldier. Elena's jaw clenched. That's not your call. It is, he said. Because this mission is connected to what happened to your team. Silence. Everything inside her stopped moving. What do you mean? Her voice cracked, not from fear, but from hope she didn't want to feel. Aiden lowered his tone. Your team wasn't ambushed by accident. Someone on the inside leaked your location. Her legs nearly gave out. Her heart felt like it split open. Who? She breathed. Aiden hesitated. We don't know yet. But we have leads. And you're the only one skilled enough to follow them without being detected. And what about this? She motioned to the unconscious soldiers around them. Was humiliating your own men part of the plan too? Aiden almost smiled. Almost. They volunteered, he said. And trust me, they'll recover. Their egos? Maybe not. A breath escaped her. Not a laugh. But close. The rain softened as if the storm itself was listening. Aiden stepped close enough that Elena could see how tired he really was. You left because you thought your story ended, he said. But Elena, this is where it continues. You are not made to disappear. You are made to fight. So I'm asking you one last time. He extended a hand to her, palm open, rain pooling in the creases. Come back. Her throat tightened. Her mind screamed to run, to hide, to escape the pain she'd buried so deep it felt fused to her bones. But something stronger pushed through, something fierce, something stubborn, something hers. Her fallen team. Their faces. Their laughter. Their trust. She couldn't let their story die unfinished. Elena reached out and clasped Aiden's hand. I'll do the mission, she said. But when this is over, I walk away for good. Aiden squeezed her hand once, the closest he'd ever come to a promise. Then let's finish what they started. As they walked into the dark hallway together, the compound lights faded behind them. Ahead lay danger, betrayal, truth. And a reckoning that would shake the foundations of everything Elena believed. For the first time in months, she felt something ignite inside her. Not vengeance. Not anger. Purpose. And that purpose would change everything.